when I saw this particular product film the first time, I was blown away. And now I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Omniyat. Bonjour, hello, welcome back to Deals with Simon. I'm absolutely excited because today I'm going to bring you the epitome of ultra luxury. We're going to speak about VELA Dorchester Collection, who happens to be a development by Omniyat. And Omniyat is one of my favorite developers and undoubtedly the #1 of ultra luxury here in Dubai. We're right now in front of the sales gallery and I'm going to show you the master plan model, what they have planned and what's about to come up here in the Marasi business bay. I'm going to show you the model of VELA itself and I'm going to introduce you into their quality standards and why they are so special, and especially in correlation with the Dorchester Collection, who is their exclusive partner when it comes to the management of the residences. This particular development is extremely unique, extremely special. And I want you to be with me for the next couple of minutes with full attention, because this particular product can change your complete perspective onto investments in this particular prime category. With that being said, let's hop into the video and let's enjoy all the action. Now, when I saw this particular product film the first time, I was blown away. And now I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Omniyat, the art of elevation. Because it's so important, especially in that segment, to understand with who are we dealing with and what's the track record, what's the history of the developer itself. Now, Omniyat was founded and established in 2005 by Mr. Mahdi Amjad. That was 20 years ago. This is very important for you to understand because over the last 20 years, they built themselves to this particular level, and that's why their reputation is absolutely clean, okay? Now, everything started with the one at Palm Jumeirah, the first ever Dorchester Collection collaboration. It was so successful that out of that, they started Ava, they started Orla Infinity, all are under construction right now on the Palm Jumeirah, and all are Dorchester Collection managed. And on the other side, if you're right now here in the Marasi Bay, which is happening there, in the upcoming master development here, okay, of ultra luxury, we find Delana, hotel and residences here, Dorchester Collection. We find obviously VELA, which we are going to speak about today, VELA Viento. And on the other side of the canal, we will find Enara, which is a commercial building. And I'm going to explain you everything in a second, why they placed a commercial building here and what's the level we can expect in here. One more thing I'd like to add here, when it comes to Omniyat, they are undoubtedly the number one based on history, track record, numbers, facts and figures when it comes to sales of $10 million plus, okay? You can see in the graph that there is literally no competition they have and that they dominate this particular segment. And now let's go into the sales gallery and let's check it out. This is exactly how the overall master plan looks like. It is majestic. What we have in front of us is the Marasi Bay in Burj Khalifa district, in the heart of Dubai, right now where we find downtown Dubai, DIFC, Business Bay, and all together is called the Burj Khalifa district, literally the center of the whole city. Now, what we can see in front of us are 4 individual buildings, all completely done by Omniyat itself. We find to my right, directly here, VELA, which is a mix of residences and a hotel by Dorchester Collection. What we find over here, next to it is VELA, and beyond the bridge is VELA Viento. Both are under construction. We're speaking about VELA today in particular, okay? Dorchester Collection managed as well. And on the other side, we can find another, which happens to be the ultra luxury commercial building. And before I'm going to explain you the overall master plan in depth, I want you to understand the location. That's why we're jumping into Google Earth to understand from a bird eye perspective where we are right now, what's the infrastructure around, and why the acquisition of those 4 individual plots by Mr. Mahdi Amjad was such a smart idea for you to understand the investment potential and the lifestyle quality you can expect there. And there we are on Google Earth. Let's just understand the location for a moment to get a better feeling of where exactly are we positioned and what's the overall infrastructure around the particular developments. We can see clearly in front of us the Burj Khalifa district, consisting out of Business Bay, downtown Dubai and DIFC. And the exact location of VELA Dorchester Collection will be over here, exactly on the widest part of the Marasi Bay Canal, exactly here. This is the particular plot, the current construction of VELA. On the other side of the bridge, we will find VELA Viento, and next to it here is the beautiful VELA Hotel and Residence by Dorchester Collection, okay? And the walking distance exactly here from the VELA directly into the heart of downtown with the fountain, with the Dubai Mall, Burj Khalifa is roughly 15 to 70 minutes depending on how fast you want to walk. On the back side of downtown we will find DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center, which is basically a very important location because here are all the major businesses relocating, and we'll find beautiful hotels like the Four Seasons, we'll find the restaurants like Cipriani, Suma, and so on. This is right next to it. Driving distance here is roughly 7, 8, 9 minutes depending on the traffic situation, obviously, okay? If we zoom out a little bit, we can see that we're having directly the coastline here on the other side, especially here with the beautiful Bulgari Island, Jumeirah Bay Island. So the driving distance here to get basically from VELA over here to the coastline, depending on the traffic situation, 10, 15 minutes as well. And you have right in front of you, basically, from your particular plots, the center of the city, basically, the city center. And on the back side, you're having all the beautiful villa communities. So this overall here is MBR, Mohammed bin Rashid City, with all the villas. And in terms of the traffic situation, it couldn't be better, because whenever you're coming from the southern part, you can directly take the E44, the Al Khair Road, and exit it. And from the exit, basically directly over here to go around this particular building, it takes you roughly 2 to maximum 5 minutes to get directly to your building. You don't need to go into the overall traffic situation here of a Business Bay, which is just incredible. And that's for the location. And now we're hopping back into the sales gallery to understand the master plan. Now we know exactly where we are positioned on the map of Dubai. Let's emphasize on a couple more important parts of the overall master plan here. Now, the building positions should be already very clear, but let's speak about one important element, which is the entry price into the community. We're speaking about VELA Viento over here. We're having an entry ticket into the 2 beds of 22 million dirhams. And here for VELA, for the 3 beds, 43 million dirhams. Why is that important? Because that demonstrates you the level and the quality of people you can estimate over here. Another point, which is super attractive for you to understand, are the views, obviously, right? Because all the units which you can see here in VELA have complete downtown view, okay, towards the Burj Khalifa, and even here towards the water, the canal. Now, another element is that in the evening, your views generally are absolutely breathtaking, because what you can see here, okay, we are having like all the boats and all the yachts parking there. This is just magnificent, as you can see on the picture right now. Another point is that all buildings are basically like interconnected, if you want so, okay? So we're having like incredible services, like if you're having an office over here in another, you're having like a boat service which brings you over, for example, to the Lana if you have a business meeting there. Or if you are living in your private residence here and you would like to, like in summer it has 40, 45 degrees and you don't want to like walk outside, but you want to go over to the Delana, for example, for your Dior spa, for a massage or whatever, then there is a buggy service which brings you from A to B. So overall, you can say everything is connected with each other, everything has a very high level, and the amount of networking, the level of networking you can experience there, and the lifestyle is non-comparable.
I'm Christopher Cadre, Company President of Dorchester Collection. I was looking for a hotel in Dubai, and I was introduced to Mr. Amjad. He brought me out to the site with what is today the Lana. It was his enthusiasm and drive that really inspired me to want to work with Omniyat. Then I looked at the designs with Norman Foster. It was just architecture which was very different in Dubai to what was being built by the developers. And residents can expect to be very much part of the hotel experience as well. They can come into the hotel at any time, dine in their home, if they want housekeeping to look after them, if they want the laundry facilities. Every service that they could expect from an ultra-luxury hotel. But it's just purely an extension of their home. That's supported by a wonderful residence team that we have here who are dedicated to looking after the homeowners. The vision for the Dorchester Collection really explains it all. Treasured by guests, cherished by employees, and celebrated worldwide. It's that signature for which the Dorchester Collection is so very well known, and it's consistent right the way through the company.
And that's a little teaser what you can expect living in a Dorchester Collection managed residence. It is literally having ultra high-end hotel services in your own private residence. And this is exactly what high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals, what they like, what they're desiring, based on multiple conversations that I had with them. Now, if we speak about the Dorchester for one moment, it is literally a collection, it's an umbrella of 10 hotels. And those 10 hotels, they are literally landmarks in their own cities. Okay, just to give you two examples. Number one is the Dorchester in London itself. It was established in 1931. There's a huge history behind it. And on the other side, the famous Plaza Athénée in Paris, looking over the Eiffel Tower. And now it's time to have a look at the building itself. This is the mock-up of VELA. And looking at it, you can directly see that the overall architecture is kind of tilted, okay, in order to get out the best possible views for both the towers, the South Tower and the North Tower. And you might wonder who's actually responsible and who came up with the idea of such an iconic architecture. It was done by the very famous architects Foster and Partners. And if you don't know who they are responsible for the Apple headquarters in California and on the other side for the Gherkin Tower in London. And let's check it out who they actually are.
Fosters have always, since our inception back in the 1960s, been very interested in technology, the technology of sustainability, the technology of tuning buildings to their environments and making buildings fly better than other buildings. And I think that's very much shown in the Lana.
We met Mehdi probably in the mid-2000s when he first talked to us about the idea of working with him on projects in Dubai.
People were always talking about the commercial value of buildings, but they were never talking about the value of design. And Mehdi was very clear from day one that he felt that the reason we were talking was because the design would be better and that would bring greater value to everybody who inhabited the building.
The whole way the building interfaces with the public realm, particularly on the marina side, I think is really quite successful. The interlocking fingers of the building effectively created these spaces within the building that we called gardens. It had landscape in it, it was outside. And really that kind of started to form some strong ideas about creating this very unusual form of the building.
Combining that with Gilles Rossier and ourselves, it led to something which was of a much higher standard and something that was more interesting to visit. We've created a lifestyle through the building. There's a great distinctiveness in the building's architecture. The long columns that jump through the gardens, they really lock it in as something which is recognisable.
At the moment there's obviously just one building standing on its own, which is great, and it fits in very nicely and it stands out. It's very unusual for Dubai. So I think the opportunity to then start to grow some other buildings of the same family in sort of proximity to that and actually create this district, I mean, it's going to be another few years before we see that. But I think, to see the sort of see it form part of that new district, I think is going to be really interesting.
It'll change the culture of Business Bay. You're going to end up with more and more like-minded people all in one place. And that's going to give it a vibrancy that a single standalone building couldn't do in the same way as it could if it sits with other buildings. And I think that's what's really going to change the place.
Phenomenal. Let's have a look at the unit economics of this absolute breathtaking building. So what kind of properties can we actually acquire? It is a mix out of 3 and 4 bedroom residences overall. So we're speaking about 3 and 4 bedroom marina residences, which are located over here in these floors. We're speaking about 3 and 4 bedroom sky residences, which are located over here, okay? Then we're having 3 incredible penthouses, which are, 2 of them are duplexes, which you can find on this particular floor, okay? They are duplexes. And there's 1 penthouse out of those 3, which has a huge terrace. It is a simplex, okay? And then there's 1 unit up here on top floor, which is the Sky Palace. There exists only 1 unit. The Sky Palace is a triplex, 3 floors, okay? With nearly 23,000 square foot. It comes 100% shell and core, which basically means you can customize the unit based on your individual taste and need and whatever you want to have in there, okay? So this is the overall understanding of how the building works. And now it's time to look actually into the inside of the units, because I want you to understand that all units come fully fitted and fully furnished, and the interiors are done by Gillet and Bossier. And let's check out who they are.
Mon nom est Dorothée Boissier, donc je suis le boissier de Gillet Boissier, qui est une société d'architecture intérieure que nous avons créée avec mon mari, Patrick Gilles, il y a 20 ans, en 2004. What is very interesting with Omniyat is that they have a very strong vision on where they want to bring residences in Dubai. And they want those residences to be very personalized. We have a large variety of woods because we love to work with woods. Stones and marble are doing an important play in this sort of dialogue of materials. Clients are starting to be more and more sophisticated on the understanding of the material. They are really trying to play with materials as if it was a piece of art. And this is what Nana Residence is also about.
One more thing that I'd like to add is the privacy factor here. So we're speaking about 38 residences in total, and every single residence sits on 1 single floor. So what that basically means is privacy, okay? So every floor is basically allocated for yourself. Now, coming a little bit closer here, looking over here, there's the promenade, okay, where we walk outside in a moment, and you will see here, there's a 65 meters, okay, infinity edge pool. Here is your state-of-the-art gym, and very important, if you come over here, the arrival area, when you come from the bridge, the Marasi bridge, and you come in here, the arrival area, you're looking directly towards the water. I mean, how beautiful are these kind of views? And if you want to exit the building, then you just come around here, okay? And you have enough space here directly to make a U-turn here and get back to downtown, to Dubai Mall within 5 to 7 minutes max. And that just shows how smart the building is actually positioned and what an incredible lifestyle you can expect here. Whenever we reach this particular point, it's time to end the video with a clear advice from my side to take action. Because today we had a deep dive into VELA, Dorchester Collection by Omniyat, and you now understand the potential of actually buying properties in this kind of segment. Like what are the results and what's the experience that you can basically get out of it. So with that being said, click on the link below this particular video, okay? Fill out the form, give me some upfront information so that I can prepare myself for the consultation, for the meeting. And in this meeting, we can go deeper. I can share some insights which I cannot share publicly on my YouTube channel, and that's exactly why you should definitely take action. With that being said, I'm looking forward to get to know you, and see you on the other side, and see you in Dubai.